Hey everyone, it's Paige. Welcome back to my channel. Today is finally the day where I get to go book shopping again. Over Christmas and Valentine's Day, I got a couple Barnes & Noble gift cards. I have a lot of books that have built up on my TBR, so I'm gonna see if I can find them, because I have kind of hit or miss luck with Barnes & Noble finding certain books that end up on my TBR, especially books that are from BookTok. I don't know what that's about. So we'll see what kind of luck I have today. And then afterwards, we'll come back to my library and I'll haul it all for you and tell you what I got. I also have Troy with me.
Cue rock music.
Let's go.
We're going to Barnes. Why is it not focusing? What's going on? There we go. It's been so long. Is there anything in particular you were scanning around for?
I mean, I haven't gone book shopping in a long time.
What is going on here? Crazy books. Ooh, look at the edge. Look at the edgy.
They have
very nice
edging
looking.
on this one too.
Oh.
Ooh, I like that. I wish I had this version of it. Oh wow.
Oh, it's like an actual. Oh, it's like the actual book. I would almost rather like just watch it. I don't think I've watched that movie. Have you?
Yeah.
That confused me so. Like, I read the trilogy, but the different covers confused me so badly.
Actually.
Are you getting her new book? No.
No, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at Holly Black.
Oh, I thought you were looking at Bardugo. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should get this. Dun 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 dun. Oh, No Way Home. Must be a Spider-Man novel. Okay.
This is what I'm looking for.
This was great.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed that. What you looking at there?
It's the new Twilight-like series.
It looks like it.
It does.
Because, like, I took one look at that. And it literally looks like a Twilight continuation of some sort. Spin-off series. That's just about Jasper. I stared as they came in. I kept staring. I just couldn't stop staring. Walking through the bookshelves. There's so many people in the store right now. Yeah, they're all looking at my camera. I'm way weirder than she is.
Look how pretty this book is.
That is a crazy looking book.
With the gold
Oh my
edging.
goodness.
This is really pretty.
Reminds me of a King James Version Bible that my mom's aunt in New York had. Oh!
Troy.
This is a new game called How Many Times Can I Find My Name?
How many books are Troy in?
How many books are Troyan? And how many of them are Greek? We're gonna settle this right here. I'm trying to agree or disagree with Amanda. Who here agrees with Amanda? Okay, I agree with It's a hard.
Well, you only have those TV shows to go off of.
True, but what I'm saying is it's like rough to even formulate an answer. This is the latest greatest in sci-fi and fantasy.
Latest greatest.
Latest greatest. That book looks really cool for some reason.
This would be kind of cool.
That's not what I said. I said the
Okay.
first sister is cool. There's like 100 different versions of Dune.
It's a series, so.
It's what?
It's a series. Dune is a series.
I don't think I knew that. What's up with the giant book then?
Well, there's the big version and there's a smaller version of the actual Dune first book. And then there's a prequel. And then there's God, Emperor of Dune and Chapter House Dune. And then there's Heretics of Dune. It's all kinds of dooms. I think I might be kind of tempted by, well, I think I want this one.
Babel.
I heard
That'd be
this was
really
good.
cool.
Yeah, I heard this is really good.
If it's based off of what I think it is.
I don't know. I've tried not to spoil myself. It's getting kind of heavy. I'm getting kind of hefty here.
Do you want to... Are you pretty much at the end of your journey? Because then you could...
No, I have more to do.
Okay, then I don't know. I'm not going to help you then.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Screw you.
I'm so sorry, dude. You're on your own. Man, that looks real heavy. Here, give me a few.
No.
I have a spare hand.
No, mine.
Look at my hand.
Uh-uh.
My first person view.
Yeah, oh my god.
Alright, here I am in my natural habitat. Honestly, if anyone has any suggestions for really good manga, that'd be great.
Hello and welcome back to my library. If I seemed quiet in the video, it was because I was very focused on what I was getting. There were a couple books I couldn't find. For example, I just finished The Serpent in the Wings of Night, which has been really big on BookTok, and I loved it, so I thought maybe I could look for some other books by that author, Carissa Broadbent, but couldn't find anything. However, I did leave with 7 books. Some of these books I think Troy caught me kind of looking at and picking up. Other books he did not catch me picking up because at some point my arms got very tired and I transferred some of my books to him and then he was looking at stuff. So I guess in a way this is a bit of a surprise. First up is a book that I do believe made it into the shopping portion of this video, and that is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. Has a beautiful painted edge depicting a few trees, I think. I have read The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and I really did like it. I think I read that last year. This is an LGBT contemporary fantasy. It follows a man named Wallace who has recently died. However, he is not totally ready to pass on, and he's given 7 days to complete the crossover, so he decides that he's going to live a lifetime in those 7 days. This sort of premise reminds me of a premise that will probably hurt my feelings. Actually feels a little bit similar to They Both Die at the End, so we'll see. I'm interested and I think I'll like it, but I also think it'll probably make me cry. Next, I picked up a contemporary romance. This is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I have read exactly one other Lucy Score book, and it was The Worst Best Man. I wrapped that up I think last video, so if you're curious on my thoughts on that, go ahead and check it out. This follows Naomi, who is recently single after abandoning her own wedding. In a twist of fate, she ends up kind of reuniting with her estranged twin for support, and the two of them end up kind of making an escape to this town called Knock Me Out. To nobody's surprise, really, Naomi's twin ends up abandoning her again, but this time she leaves behind a niece that Naomi didn't know that she had. This is a book that comes really highly recommended from a friend of mine. I actually had this downloaded as an audiobook, but soon discovered that I am not a fan. So I decided I needed the actual physical book to read. It is chunky though. So we'll see. I am excited to see what I think of it because it comes so highly recommended. I feel like I'm front-loading all of the literary fiction and romance before I like hit you with all of the fantasy I got. Next up is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This is another book that comes highly recommended from some very dear people to me. This is a book for fans of Shakespeare. It is a historical fiction that I believe follows the perspective of Shakespeare's wife. So it tells their love story and then goes on to tell the story of William's rise to fame on the stage and simultaneously the family's loss of their young son, Hamnet. The subtitle of this book is A Novel of the Plague, so I believe it does focus on the effects of the Black Death in the 16th century. This is really interesting to me because I do find William Shakespeare's life very interesting. Every time I teach his work, I obviously go over the story of his life in small detail, and when I do that, I end up always wondering about the life of his family, you know, having such a famous father figure. So even though this is historical fiction, I think I'm going to have a really good time seeing how this author envisions that effect taking hold of the Shakespeare family. Alright, next up is a supernatural horror novel that has been on my TBR for actually quite a few years at this point. I think what primarily prevented me from picking this up sooner is that it does have mixed reviews, but it is Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. It's very short, which I did not realize, but having seen it in the store, I realized that this is short enough that even if I don't love it, I don't see how I wouldn't want to finish it. And honestly, I still have hope for it. I think that it might be really good. This horror novel does take inspiration from Japanese mythology. It kind of reminds me a bit of The Grudge because it is a haunted house kind of story, but again, set in a Japanese mansion. As most haunted house stories go, this mansion has been abandoned for quite some time and has a certain reputation for being haunted, but a group of young thrill seekers break in and decide to have a party there. In the shadows of this great mansion lurks a ghost bride with a black smile and a hungry heart. Horrifying cover art there. So if the plot of the book is even half as scary as the art on the cover, then I have high hopes. Next is a book that I have been anticipating reading for at least 4 years. I literally marked this as want to read on July 20th, 2019. So practically since it came out. This is Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. And as you can see, it is quite big and it is quite popular on BookTok as well. Probably the sheer size of it is the only thing that has kind of kept me from picking it up for so long. This is high fantasy and I heard that it has a strong supporting romance. I believe it's multi-perspective, but all of the perspectives are women. The synopsis on the back is extremely vague and I won't even attempt to repeat it. So all you need to know, I think, about this is that there are talking dragons, is what I heard. This has made people go feral for high fantasy, which is really, really impressive. High fantasy is not for everyone, especially high fantasy of this size. So I'm excited, but who knows when I'll actually get started on this. Next up is the first book that I picked up, and that is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. This is a novel of Elfhame, meaning that it's in the same universe and it's a continuation of the Cruel Prince series. This is the first book in the Stolen Heir duology, which again takes place after the Cruel Prince trilogy, precisely takes place 8 years after that trilogy, and follows one of the characters in that trilogy, Oak. I don't know, like, I don't really even know what it's about, but I'm really excited. And I am not only thrilled to see how Oak has grown up and matured, but I'm even more excited to see how Jude and Cardan present themselves in this book and all of the other, you know, surviving and beloved characters from the previous series. Last but not least is a book that I've heard wonderful things about, no surprise honestly, and that is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I do know that R.F. Kuang is an excellent author. I have not finished her Poppy War series, but I did read the first one and of course thought it was fantastic like everyone else who read it. This is a historical fiction fantasy. This is set in the mid-19th century and follows a Chinese boy who is taken from his home place in China to live in Britain. He trains over many years to learn different languages and the art of translation with the ambition that he will one day apply to Oxford's Babel program. The Babel program at Oxford is their Royal Institute of Translation, which not only teaches translation, but also teaches magic. It is directly reviewed by S.A. Chakraborty, who is the author of The City of Brass, which I loved. Her review of this book was incredibly positive. I think that this will be an incredible read that will not only offer a very intricate system of magic, but will also provide some much needed commentary on colonialism. Those are all 7 of the books that I hauled at Barnes & Noble today. I hope to film another reading wrap-up video soon-ish to talk about the books that I have been reading. I'm currently working my way through Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo and The War of Two Queens by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I have been enjoying them immensely, even though they are vastly different, despite both being, you know, fantasy. So I can't wait to talk about those in my next video. If you have any suggestions or requests for types of videos, then please let me know. It will help inspire me to get filming next week. If you don't already, please follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads. You can also join my Discord channel called Paiging Through Club, and you can follow me on twitch.tv under Trazima. All of those links are in the description. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you back here very, very soon. Bye!